This boy's life seems like he's been cheating. He accidentally used ink in art class. Worried about the teacher's punishment, he quickly wiped it with his sleeve. The teacher opened the drawing paper and took a look. She was directly stunned by the painting above. The boy accidentally scratched out a National Treasure level ink painting. He won the first prize in National Elementary School painting for this reason. Even the female classmates in his class praised him. And then the boy began his life of hanging up. During the English exam, he kept tossing erasers to choose the answer. However, what is surprising is that the boy finally won the first place in the school. So the boy wanted to test how lucky he was. During the math exam, he handed in the blank paper directly. The result was completely unexpected. He thought his luck would change when he grew up, but God cares for him very much. He just bought a lottery ticket and won the special prize. Afon doesn't want to rely on luck for a living, so he found a company to work for. On the first day of work, countless clients came to him to buy a house, and still buy it in full. Take a taxi on rainy days. He just waved his hand. Countless cars came to pick him up. Even when friends gathered, Afon cursed loudly at his friends. His friends not only didn't get angry, but instead said that Afon was a sincere person. Gradually, Afon became increasingly disgusted with this kind of life, so he deliberately stood at the intersection on rainy days. It's just a scolding to heaven, and say you let the lightning strike me to death. Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck down. Afon touched his body, discovered that lightning did not hit him. However, the thief who finished stealing on the side suffered a disaster. Passers-by believed that Afon acted bravely for the righteous, received and distributed the Good Citizen Award to him. The next day Afon came to the temple, trying to escape reality by becoming a monk, but just as the monk was preparing to help him shave his hair, suddenly interrupted by the abbot waving his hand. Turns out all of this is Afon's fantasy. The boy broke into a woman's house at midnight, just to tell women,
"You're my wife."
We're married? You're telling me that we got married at some point in time?
Yes,
You're a handsome little boy, but I'm getting married to someone else.
it's me, Sean.
You're telling me that you're Sean.
Yes.
Let's go.
Anna thinks the boy is playing for himself. Grab the boy and throw him out. Because her husband died unexpectedly on a morning jog 10 years ago. It took her 10 years to get over the pain. Then the boy told Anna not to marry the man. "If I did, you'd really miss me." The boy's words evoked the pain in Anna's heart. She grabbed the boy and handed him over to the security guard. But it didn't end there. The next day Anna received a letter. The letter again said never marry that man. Anna saw it and became even more distraught. After a long thought, Anna still told her family what had happened to her letter. The family agreed that it was a prank. How can a person be resurrected after death? He took it as an after-dinner chuckle. But Anna's fiancé Paul doesn't think so. He decided to find the boy, tell his parents to teach him a lesson. Day 2, Paul found the boy's home. From his father's mouth, the boy's name was indeed Sean. But what's so strange is that, just a few days ago Sean suddenly became a different person. Every now and then just sitting on the bed and not moving, like he was thinking about something. And he used to say that he wasn't their child. When father found out what had happened, be honest with Anna, and make sure that their children won't bother Anna again. But no matter what the father said, the boy did not say anything. Keep looking at Anna.
I want you to tell her right now that you'll never see her or bother her again. Sean, tell her.
Do you understand that? I don't want you to bother me again.
Anna and her fiancé leave. The boy still looked at Anna. The boy fainted on the ground as he watched her leave behind. The scene shocked Anna. The boy's faint at the concert flashed in Anna's mind. She was sure that the boy's fainted expression was too unlike that of a 10-year-old. Anna's heart began to grow anxious. Memories of her and Sean are also beginning to emerge. In the eyes also slowly appeared the tears. The next day, the little boy's action did not stop. He called Anna directly after class. He wanted Anna to meet somewhere only the two of them knew. Anna lost her face when she heard it. She hurried to the park. The boy was found waiting under the bridge in the park.
You think this is a game? You think this is funny?
No. What if Bob comes to my house and tests me?
How do you know Bob?
He was my brother-in-law.
At this moment Anna's heart was in a state of confusion, though she said she did not believe it, but the heart seems to have begun to tilt. While lying in bed, Anna thought from side to side, or decided to make the matter clear. Anna called in the brother-in-law to ask about the boy. But here's the unexpected. The boy said something private that only they knew each other. The fisherman catches gold every day, but when he saw the moss on the surface, he just threw it away. The illiterate workers used it to build walls, after centuries of baptism by cannons. Finally, a girl stepped on gold to peep into the prince she secretly loved, but the prince just glanced. The girl was so scared that she fell to the ground, and the true face of gold is revealed. To figure out what's inside, so the girl immediately picked up the awl, chisel away soil from the surface. But the next second, a cloud of black gas suddenly erupted. The imprisoned god of the lamp has finally unlocked its long-standing seal, and the girl was scared and fainted. When the girl wakes up, he said he could fulfill her 3 wishes, because only in this way can he he completely regain his freedom. Girl makes a wish without saying a word. She wants the prince to fall in love with herself, obviously. This wish is a piece of cake for the lamp god. He turned out a bottle of divine oil, then let the girl apply it to her body. The next day, the prince fell in love with the girl at first sight, and she successfully became a princess. But what she didn't expect was, she attracted the jealousy of other concubines in order to preserve her identity. So she made a second wish. She hopes to give birth to a son for the prince. It didn't take long for her to have a baby, but her pregnancy has drawn hatred from the queen, because the queen wants her youngest son to inherit the throne. If the prince had the king's grandson first, this is the biggest threat to them. So the queen directly executed the prince for the reason that he wanted to rebel, and the girl was put in jail. Soon the lamp god will find the girl, let her make a third wish, but the girl's heart has turned to ashes, and then jumped into the sea without hesitation. When the lamp god arrived, it was too late, because she didn't fulfill 3 wishes, so the lamp god was sealed into the bottle again, trapped under the flagstone. She tapped her fingers lightly on the cheek, secretly issuing the Morse code. Communicate secretly with this prisoner in court, but his gaze was dull and unresponsive. Anna's heart was burning with anxiety. She had no choice but to try again and again. This time he finally gave a response, continuously blinking his eyes to convey information. She immediately understood. Take note of what he said one by one, then hurry to the designated location. The 3rd brick from left to right. Gently push in. The brick wall slowly rises. There's a luxury sports car inside. Anna drives a car. Find a 37-kilometer road sign. Pull over and stop the car. The mechanism will automatically activate. She drove the car into the cave. Enter the password that Lao Bai told her. The cabinet pops up immediately. Looking at 2 layers of cash full, she chose the layer with the largest face value. Put the money in the bag, as her own tip. Then follow the instructions. Take away a tube of yellow potion and a tube of green potion. Everything is all set. Anna swaggered into the police station. Request to meet with the Minister of Police. The minister couldn't wait to close the door. Immediately launch an attack on the beauty who has been secretly in love for a long time. He told Anna that he was thinking about her all the time. He's willing to do anything for her. She smiled with a seductive smile and said she likes to seek excitement. Anna picked up the newspaper on the table. She said she wanted to meet the death row inmates in prison. The minister seems a bit embarrassed, because Lao Bai is an unforgivable bandit. She slowly stepped forward, teased him with her nose. The minister fell in an instant. He immediately agreed, but he requested to accompany Anna along, and this also hit her heart right. 2 people come to prison, faced with the warden's inquiry. The minister casually gave a reason. They have the right to visit. The prison guard took Lao Bai out of the room. He remained expressionless all the way, just like a wooden person. 3 people are locked up in the interrogation room. Stayed inside for half an hour. Then the prison guards opened the door. The 2 of them walked out coldly. It seems like nothing happened. The same goes for Lao Bai, acting like a marionette. The 2nd day, he was taken out of prison. Cut off the obstructing collar. Arrest to the execution ground for execution. Old Bai remained expressionless throughout the entire process. The police say he's really a tough guy. The warden also said that he didn't change his expression at all. This statement alerted the sheriff. He remembered the human skin mask he found while catching Lao Bai. Suddenly feeling bad, a piece of glass scratched the man's eye. When he woke up again, he got a perspective. With a slight force on the eyes, the insects inside the apple are clearly visible. He said it's bad. His friend said you didn't eat. How do you know it's bad? Helplessly, Zhuang Rui had to prove it to her. It turned out to be exactly what he said. This makes him very excited in history major. Then Zhuang Rui came to Uncle Da's antique shop. As a result, he found that he could not only see the internal patterns of antiques, he can also see the production process in history. This day, his friend Matt's business failed, resulting in a huge debt. Matt decided to sell his $1 million heirloom, but Zhuang Rui just glanced. He knew it was a modern handicraft, but Matt always felt like this was an old thing. So the 2 of them came to the local antique market. After the boss took a look, only willing to bid 5 yuan, Matt felt insulted. Take Zhuang Rui and leave. As a result, he fell in love with the boss's gourd, so Zhuang Rui opened his golden pupils. Sure enough, the dust on the surface of the gourd began to dissipate, and what caught his eye was a patch of red. Obviously, dirt has covered the history of gourds, but the boss didn't see it. In the end, Zhuang Rui only spent 600 yuan. Matt cursed him for being a real loser. Then Zhuang Rui brought the gourd to Uncle D's place. After some observation, Uncle D also saw that this is not an ordinary gourd. He said to Zhuang Rui, if you really want to sell it, I'll give you 100,000 yuan. Mr. Su on the side began to mock Uncle D. He doesn't think a broken gourd is worth 100,000 yuan at all, but Uncle D said that the gourd is red. To take responsibility for what he said, Uncle D carefully wiped the surface of the gourd. Sure enough, there's a red patch hidden behind the dirt. Uncle D speculates that this is an object from the late Guangxu period, and it's also a precious gourd played by princes and nobles. Mr. Su thinks it's a good thing, so he offered 300,000 yuan to buy it. The boss who was watching around regretted it a bit. He offered 600,000 yuan to take it back. He said to Zhuang Rui, I paid 600,000 to redeem it. You made 1,000 times the money in between. But at this moment, Mr. Su on the side offered another 800,000 yuan. The boy just swung the racket and hit the tennis ball accurately into the opposite pocket. This action instantly stunned everyone present. No one would have thought that this freshman would be so strong, because this high school is known as a strong tennis school. All the main players in the school are very strong, so a freshman like David was not qualified to play. All he could do was to practice his racket silently, but David didn't realize that on their first day they'd come across the main team training. The seniors were practicing their return shots. One of them could hit the ball from any angle and the other one could hit the tennis ball back to the bag accurately. All the first-year students were impressed. However, at this moment a tennis ball suddenly flew towards David at high speed. He just casually raised his hand and swung the racket and the tennis ball slid into the bag with a perfect arc. This action instantly attracted everyone's attention, but Mark, who was also a first-year student, looked disdainful. He immediately ran over and grabbed David's collar to teach him a lesson, but he was interrupted by the captain who arrived. The captain punished them with 10 laps of the playground for disrupting the pitch. Mark tried to haggle. The captain added another 10 laps. Mark didn't dare to say anything else but obeyed. Soon he finished the whole race out of breath, but he blamed it all on David, and he saw that David's bag was still on the course, so he had another idea. The first years were practicing their swings, but David couldn't find his racket. Mark took the opportunity to provoke David again. He offered to play against David. He handed David a tennis racket that he had prepared in advance. It was a tennis racket with a broken string. He couldn't control the strength and direction of the ball with it, but he didn't expect David to play straight away. By now the main team had also noticed the situation. Some of them tried to stop him, but they backed off, because they also wanted to see how strong this freshman was. But soon everyone was shocked, because even though David was holding a broken tennis racket, he was playing at a professional level. This is a school that only Supermen can go to. Students have all kinds of superpowers. The rubber man who ate the rubber fruit. Black Beauty who's gonna split up. Lightning Fat as fast as the Flash. All kinds of superpowers. Carl is the new kid on the block. Parents are the leaders of all the superpowers. Dad's strength is amazing. Mom can go to heaven and earth. Even under the blessing of such a strong bloodline, he still has no powers of awakening. If his own father finds out, I'm sure he'd think he'd made a piece of wood, so it's always covered with them. But the nightmare is coming. The first day of school was to test the species for superpowers. Then it will be divided into shifts. The first player on the court was a stone man. He can lift a car with his bare hands. Of course they were assigned to the hero class. The second player directly incarnates a puddle of mud. Look at this useless power. The coach assigned him to a squat class. Finally, it's Carl's turn. He quietly explained to the coach that he had no powers, but the coach laughed. How can a child who is a leader not have superpowers? You must have inherited your father's strength. Then he put down a car. If it weren't for Carl's quick reaction, by this time he had turned into a meat pie. He yelled that he didn't have the power. The coach looked confused. Suddenly he understood.
I get it. You're a flyer, just like your mom. Why don't you say so?
Then the eject switch was pressed. Carl flew out at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per second. He fell hard on the wall. Carl asked the doctor at the hospital, I really do not have a bit of superpowers heredity. The doctor said it was possible, but it doesn't rule out that you're slow to wake up. Might have a greater capacity, but it's too late to say anything. Back home, his parents were already waiting for his triumphant return. Carl didn't know how to speak. They have great self-esteem. If they knew they had given birth to a son like this, how it's going to play out.